Let's just do it. Let's just like start it. Who says we need a bit this week? Maybe the best. Who's maybe the Jesus. Even the when you look into the annals of history and you look back on all of it, people didn't just like we need to preamble this big important speech. We're just gonna dive into it.
History was the equivalent of that meme that just do it.
The Shia LaBeouf meme? Yes. Don't let your memes be dreams. Just do it.
And don't let your dreams be memes.
Let your dreams be memes only in certain circumstances.
Yeah, I guess if your dreams suck.
If they suck, or if you think they're really funny, which, like, to you they might be, I guarantee no one else cares. I guarantee it.
But yeah, Protagonist, you're not new. This is episode, 8 or something, so... Protagonist, that's Ian, I'm Alex. 86, jumping right into it. This was a really good episode.
It is... Shit goes down. Shit goes down. And it's very good.
There's a lot of shows where I feel like they don't really earn their melodramatic moments. This one, I feel like it did.
Yes, I would say wholeheartedly. And I kind of didn't expect it from this one, because I expected this to be like a bleak war series.
Yeah, like the scene with where he was finally fighting his brother. Usually it's kind of just sort of like usually it's really melodramatic, but this time I thought they did it really well. Also, the way they did the shot composition, like when she's ordering the aerial bombardment on them, and it has her child self go and slap him right at the moment that the mortars hit him. I thought was really well done. Yeah,
they did some stuff that made it a very unique segment. I
can tell that this is something that's probably, having not read the source material, that's probably not how it's done in the source material. So I would say that's pretty good for an adaptation to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
That's not really a way you can do that in literature.
Yeah, I don't know.
Quick cuts like that.
I don't know how you would go about doing that in a way that didn't make it seem like it was absolutely insane.
But yeah, it was a really good scene. I also really like how she finally went and broke protocol and stuff. And she's right. What's going to happen to her? This military is an absolute buffoon, clown circus where no one actually cares about getting anything done. So what do they care if she used the mortars? It's like, hey, you can't do that. We weren't using those for anything, but we were busy getting drunk and having sex in the headquarters.
And even half of those rounds were duds anyway, so
yeah,
who gives a shit?
I also really like how she stops holding back and got her friend Annette to basically start helping and stop being a uncaring bitch.
It's kind of weird because
she emotionally manipulates her basically.
Yeah. She becomes a bitch to get her friend to stop being a bitch.
Yeah, where she's like, hey, your friend that your childhood friend that got taken away, was his name Shin by any chance? Yeah, I talk to him every day. He's the commander of Spearhead. And do you want to abandon him a third time, or do you want to help me?
Yeah, that's the savage shit.
She gets her to upgrade her parade thing and make it so she can do things like share visuals and sight with them, which is dangerous because apparently that can cause blindness, but she's like, I'm only using it for a few seconds.
A few seconds just to...
And she starts... I think they respect her for that, too, because she's basically taking on the risk now with them. It's not just, hey, you guys might all die, but I'll be fine here in my cushy chair.
Exactly.
And yeah, they have that scene where they finally defeat his brother and finally put him at rest. And then Shin has as expected, a breakdown finally after having all that trauma dealt with, which is really nice because it shows him his memories of his brother, which were all kind of fuzzy, like his face was blocked out, kind of clearing up.
Yeah, I think that was because he had to compartmentalize everything so that like he could keep his cool, otherwise everyone would fucking die in battle, but
Yeah, and
now
then
he
he finally
finally
let
gets a
himself break
moment.
down. And then they basically tell her to cut the parade because he probably wouldn't want anyone listening to him sob like that.
Also fair.
Yep. And then eventually they call her back and they tell her that they're grateful for her help and that they're just going to keep on going. Because why would they go back?
Yeah, there's nothing to go back to.
Just to wait to get executed, essentially. Their orders were to march on the enemy base, basically, until they die. So they're just going to keep going and leave.
They're going to live their own life.
Which is, yeah, and then she calls out to them, but at the same time, I think she stops herself because she realizes, like, I mean, I can't tell them to come back. This is like a death sentence. The best thing they can do is leave right now, but of course she doesn't want them to leave because she's going to miss them.
Yeah. And she even like runs out to the street, but it's no go. And then they're finally out of range and they're gone.
Yep. And
It's
they're
a
all just
sad
talking about
moment.
what they're going to end up doing, like how they're just going to go and they sound happy and positive because they're like, oh, we're going to figure out how to go and live our own lives. Who's going to do the cooking tomorrow? All this and that. And then Shin just kind of ends it with, we're off, Major. And then they leave and cut the cord.
It's very sad because now our lads are gone.
And now she's all alone.
Yeah, because she alienated her friend pretty good.
Yeah. But at the same time, too, that now her squad's gone, so she's probably going to have to get a new squad full of people that the government wants to kill off. But I have a feeling that the Legion's now going to probably end up worse because the Shepherd's gone.
Yeah, I want to know what's going to happen with that.
Because apparently the Shepherd was like a local commander that kind of kept them all in check, and it seemed like his entire goal was Shin. So what are they going to do now?
They
Also,
might.
The 86s were their best, or that group, Spearhead, was their best group. So
Now it's gone.
yeah.
I
I have a
wonder
feeling
if
where the Alba are going to get fucked real soon. I think, yeah, Lena's going to be okay, but everyone else, a bunch of other people are probably real screwed.
I feel like the robots might attack the city directly now, because since they were being led by Shin's brother and his one goal was to get to Shin, like,
Yeah.
now they don't have that. So it's just like, fucking, it's free country time. Just go ham on
This
'em.
episode made me really hope that this is a 2-core show.
Me too.
Because apparently we're still only in volume 1, and there's like 7 volumes so far.
Damn. That's good shit.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be like a dual perspective thing, where we're going to see what Shin's group's doing versus what Lena's doing, or if it's going to be just one or the other for now.
Well, I think it's just gonna be Lena's because
Yeah, I feel like if this was a 1-core show thing, the city getting fucked is probably a good like finale thing.
yeah. And we didn't get any perspective from the 86 after they defeated Shin's brother. Like literally everything after that was from Lena's perspective.
Yeah,
And we hear
and we only
portions
see
of
them on
them.
the like screen until like they disappear.
Yeah, and we hear them describing the things they see. So like I feel like that's an indication that we're all this
Yeah, they're going to be out
it's
of the
Lena.
plot for a while.
It's Lena time.
Yeah. You know they're going to come back because Shin's the love interest of this series, but when's the question?
Exactly. When is the biggest question?
I see people saying the series is like it looks like a war mecha shonen anime, but it's actually like a shoujo. Because I guess like later on there's like a lot of detailed descriptions of how handsome Shin is.
Jesus.
But
I mean, Whatever sells the novels.
Yeah, that's what the author likes. That's what she likes. Yeah, that's the. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens without the 86s there to deal with the robots.
Yeah, because without Spearhead,
I wonder
like
how graphic they're gonna make it. Is it gonna be like a full on massacre? Because they seem to have been they cut away from a lot of the violence in this show.
they do make it pretty tasteful.
Like if anyone's about to get like crushed or killed by the robot, it'll just cut away with like a blood splatter sound effect. Or if Shin shoots someone, you don't actually see it.
I honestly can't say if they'll keep that up or not, because like on
That
one
seems like the
hand,
time if you want to go all the way, that would be the thing. But for most
exactly.
TV releases, we're probably going to be looking at a lot of like black screens with like you can see kind of in the corner the edges.
Like the what was it? It was like the mountain of dead bodies from Akuma Drive, where it's like you can't see 90% of this screen.
Yeah, it would be full on like just a bunch of people who are like censored from the top up, like their head is just from getting decapitated. It's just like there's torsos,
Yeah,
but you don't get to see the neck or what's not above the neck anymore.
exactly. You just see this little bit, nothing else. You don't need you guys don't need that.
That's going to be real bad too, which I can see why this series probably is 7 volumes, because if that was all it took to defeat the Legion, wouldn't really be anything. Because I feel like the city's going to fall, and that's going to be a lot more brains added to the army.
I want to know, like, if the city falls, what then? Like, what's even left? Because we don't even really know what is in the outside world.
Apparently, there's other countries. It's just like they're apparently getting jammed by the robots, so they're kind of isolated. Because they pretty much mentioned too that there are other countries where he's like, yeah, we got to genocide all of our 86, because then the rest of the world will know that basically there's no crime that happened. We got to erase the evidence.
Yeah, that's right.
Because other countries would look at that and be like, holy shit. So I guess they just decided to do their genocide while all the cameras from the rest of the world were off them.
Which is it's not a terrible strategy. It is
It's a terrible thing.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing they're doing, but
I guess they were like, hey, this is the perfect time to do that thing we want to do. We'll just kind of use this 2 years to ethnically cleanse our population, and then after we'll just kind of, wait for the robots to turn off, and everyone will come back and be like, hey, are you guys okay? You were like unreachable for like, you were completely surrounded by robots for like a couple of years. Yeah, it's fine. Hey, what happened to your like ethnic populations? Oh, the robots did that. Terrible.
yeah, there was
We
the
did everything we
robots.
could. Yeah. In fact, the defunct empire that created them, they should really like be held accountable for that. Yeah.
It's a good thing we took out those robots.
I have a feeling the main character, or like Shin's group, is going to stumble upon another country. Like they'll end up getting outside of where the Republic is, and then they're like, hey, another country where everyone's not a bunch of racists.
Hopefully. Hey, do you guys know what happened in Alba Town or whatever that country's called?
I think it's San Mongolia or something. It's San Mongolia. I don't know. It sounds like San Mongolia.
It's
But it's not Mongolia, because I know Mongolia is a real country.
It's hit rocker no, it's voice actor of Full Metal Alchemist, Vic Mignogna.
Yeah, San Mignogna. That area or their country, basically not France.
Yeah.
It's quite clearly modeled after Paris, the city.
It's like weird Nazi-controlled France.
Yeah. Also, if the Nazis didn't give a shit about running anything and just kind of partied all the time.
That's also very true.
And
that's
we're
where
kind
the
of
French
also really
comes
incompetent. Yeah, that's where the French part comes in. It's like the French military.
They don't give a fuck about running it, but like they really hate the other ethnicities.
Yeah. Also, I found out because the Alba are the silver-haired people. Everyone else is the Colorata or whatever. which basically includes all actual ethnicities since the Alba don't actually exist. Because, like, everyone else, like, I thought everyone was just Asian or whatever, but nope, some of them are, like, consistent, like, actually listed as having their race be blonde hair, blue eyes, like the Dewa character that died.
Yeah.
So it's literally everybody that's not this fictional race, so I guess that's a good way to do your racism thing, even though the fictional race is clearly an allegory for white people. Even though they're killing other white people.
I don't know. It could be a little bit ambiguous. That's not true. It's very unambiguous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, they're basically modeled after every bad authoritarian regime.
Yeah. It's just take the worst of all of them.
The worst of humanity.
The worst humanity has to offer.
But yeah, they're gonna get fucked soon, so it's not worth really caring about. I want to see like how many of these people can actually work to defend themselves, considering that they just kind of, I don't know, spend every day just fucking around.
I get the feeling we're gonna watch Science Girl die.
I hope we get more competent Alba characters, because right now, literally every Alba besides Lena is a fucking idiot or an asshole. Like, we've been told there's good ones, like the old Laughing Fox.
Yeah.
But it's like, give me an Alba that's, like, not a complete shitter who's just, like, a fat slob.
It'd be weird to introduce, like, a new character at this point, but I feel like it would also be a perfect opportunity.
I feel like this is the perfect time to introduce, like, non-shit Alba, because if we're going through an arc of, like, their city being attacked, I feel like you would need some competent people.
Yeah, and that's another, like, plus point for making this too core, is, like, now we've got these new characters that we just met that are not absolute garbage.
Get ready for probably non-Shin Alba love interest dude.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, hey, I'm not a shitter like the rest of them. I can pilot a juggernaut and save our city too. Also, we have great chemistry, right?
Sure. If that's what the writer wants.
And then Shin comes back, and then it's like, okay, let's ignore this guy again.
There's gonna be a little bit of parts where we're not gonna know who's in the lead, but anyone who is actually competent, like, we all know it's gonna be Shin. We know. Yeah. We just know it.
I wonder what's gonna happen to the uncle.
If I had to guess, I'm gonna say during the town attack, or when the city's getting attacked, I think he's going to try and put up a fight, and he's going to lose his shit, and then he's just going to get killed.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to have, like, a pistol or a rifle or something, and he's going to be attacking the robots.
Yeah.
But they're just going to kill him.
He's weird because he, at the same time, he seems competent enough, but also completely incompetent. He seems competent at the things you shouldn't be competent at. Like, he's like, I'm one of the few people that's aware we have to now complete the genocide, or else we're going to be totally fucked when the rest of the world figures it out. But at the same time, I'm not actually going to I'm not going to listen to anything about, like, you know, the robots actually not turning off in 2 years.
Yeah.
The man does not have his priorities straight.
He's like short-sighted competent, where he doesn't really see everything, but he sees a couple things pretty clearly.
Yeah, he's got his priorities wrong. It's like, I'm focused on making sure we don't all get in trouble after this is over. It's like, yeah, but this might not be over if you don't deal with the immediate threat.
But if it is, then
also
we'll get in
like
trouble.
No one believes like her like thing. Everyone dismisses the whole like, oh hey, the 86s can hear the voices of the dead and stuff, when Shin was the original test subject that built their parade system.
Yes. So
why would you not?
Because he is not an Alba.
Yeah, their whole racial superiority thing's weird when most of them seem not able to do anything.
Yeah.
That's probably they're going to get knocked down a peg.
And that's going to
Especially
be
if they
nice
need
to
the
watch.
86s to save them.
And we know there's still 86 out there. So
Yeah, they still have their concentration camps and other squads. Also,
I'm
if another
looking forward
country
to
shows up to help them out, and they're just like, dudes, come on.
What the fuck?
Especially since I think most of the other countries are not primarily Alba-based.
Yeah. It's a bad look.
Yeah. Because it's not even like they're doing it, like they're doing it on literally everybody that isn't them.
Yep. Which is a lot of fucking people. Like,
yeah.
That's a massive amount of people.
I guess it depends on what their population size was, though, on like how much their minority population was. Like, were they primarily just Alba and just had like a small minority, or did they have a ton of people?
That's true.
All we know really about the Alba government is that they were previously a monarchy, and then after they had some revolution, and then became what they are now. Like the French.
Like the French. Maybe the true villains was the French all along.
Hey, we have people that watch us on Deezer.
It's true.
We can't clown on the French.
We just did.
We did clown on the French.
Pretty hard at points, too.
Désolé.
I refuse to apologize for my actions. I mean, we clown on us, too. We clown on everybody. There is no safe place here.
That's true. Everyone gets clowned on.
You're all awful.
We punch up and down.
We punch up, down, sideways.
We do that spinning punch thing kids do when they get in a fight because they think it's optimal.
It makes me think of a Devon move. Like that would be a Devon fighting move.
It's like, yeah, you punch every angle. You're not going to want to get in on this. And the faster you spin, the more dangerous.
The faster you spin.
You're also going to move your arms up and down wildly, so you're like a spinning top that's about to stop spinning.
You're like a bad roller coaster.
But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this week. But yeah, I hope it's 2-core.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to seeing it, but I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. Next up,
Shadow's house. Dude, John is so cool.
John,
why
every
is John
episode.
The best character? Like, why is John locked in for best boy of the season?
Like, we didn't even meet him till like 2 episodes ago. But already, like, that fast, we realized, we learned.
It's only going to be, 86 is only going to be 11 episodes.
Only 11?
Yep, only 11.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, so we only got, like, what, 2 more?
I think so.
We'll probably get a season 2.
I hope so. It's a good show.
Yeah. It's produced by Aniplex, Kadokawa, and Bandai. I'm assuming just that's a subsidiary of Bandai Namco or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably. Kadokawa, it has money.
And I think this will make them more.
Yeah.
But back to how great John is. Oh my God.
Boulder. He Chris Redfielded that.
John is the Chris Redfield we don't deserve.
I'm really liking every character in this. Like, even Ricky's, I'm really coming around on.
Yeah, Ricky was really good this episode. I was a little surprised. There's like the entire cast is all
self-absorbed bitch.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get a Louise redemption arc.
But Ricky's great now.
We get to see that he actually does care about Patrick. Holy shit.
And I love how that part where it looks like Ricky's in trouble, like John just steps in and goes and like punches the boulder and saves him.
I like how when he's doing it too, he's like, this body moves on its own. And I was like, what the fuck? Rick, you're saving him. You're saving Ricky, dude.
Also, John's so badass that he makes like one of the ladies watching like cream herself. Like her actual face gets exposed.
Oh yeah, because we learned another weird fact about the shadows.
Yeah, it looks like later on they start to inhabit the same body.
Yeah, they like possess their faces, which is why it looked like Edward was a doll and a shadow. Because I guess he is.
Because I guess at that point, like if they start to like become one, the dolls can do their master's shadow power thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing.
Something tells me that the Shadow House is going to have some big secret where they're actually two of the same they're actually supposed to be one body, but like they're split for some reason, for some weird purpose.
Yeah, they're like two halves of the same personality. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would make sense why everyone's like opposite.
Yeah, it would. I'm down with that.
But yeah, this episode we finally get Emilico saving Kate, and Emilico got it the worst in the sense that Edward purposely fucked her over the hardest, because I think she was his person that he just wanted to fail so he could prove he failed someone. Where her contingent to save Kate was that she had to pick the keys at the beginning, and if she didn't, she basically auto fails.
Yeah, Edward was a huge dick. And don't worry, guys. Emilico did find a way around it. By luck, mostly. Luck and force of will.
Yeah. And she the wheelbarrow ended up being actually a good pick, which I assumed this was how it was going to go for a while. She was going to jump into the wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
That served its purpose.
We also get a bit because Lou gives Ricky the shears because she's like, I don't need this anymore, so you can just take it. And also, I like you.
Yeah,
but then
Sean thinks that he's like, oh, you must have deceived her in some way or like took out the competition.
Yeah, this is when the boulder comes down because they're at this weird like, it's like one of those revolving doors at hotels and shit, but there's bars on either side, so you need someone.
You need two people.
Yeah, and they have to swap places.
But it's I really like the scene where Ricky and Patrick show up after, and Kate and Emilico see them, and Kate thinks, oh, Ricky's here to take us out or something, and then Emilico's immediate assumption is like, oh, great, you guys found each other. Oh, and Lou must have given you her shears. And she's like, oh yeah, that's right. You make friends, not enemies.
And turns out she was actually just right.
Yeah. Also, and Ricky seems surprised that she didn't assume that he was just being like a backstabbing traitor like Sean did. She just assumed like, oh yeah, that's what happened.
Sean is a plans man, whereas Emilico is a friends gal.
And Patrick has Ricky give her the shears out of sort of to thank her for giving him the flower earlier.
And he actually he bows and is like, please give Emilico the shears. It's a debt. It is a debt owed. Yeah.
I feel like I really like all of our characters, and something tells me that they're all going to end up working together against the hierarchy of the Shadow House, because I can tell that they're not going to be, none of them are going to be the type of person where, oh, this is just my face now, not an individual person.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Except maybe Louise.
Yeah, not Louise.
And I have no idea anything that Shirley thinks.
That's going to be so heartbreaking because we're getting to know Lou, but later on in the plot, we probably won't see it in the anime because it's probably going to be like way down the line. But at some point, Louise is probably going to take over Lou's body.
And I have a theory of how this is going to end. I think one person is going to fail, and I think it's going to be Rum and Shirley.
Probably.
Because they're kind of baiting it, making us think like, oh, Emilico and Kate, they won't have enough time to get back, but of course they're the main characters, they will. I think Rum and Shirley don't get back in time. Because Lou and Louise are already good. We already seen that Sean and John are basically all set, same with Ricky and Patrick.
And someone's going to fail.
Yeah, someone's got to fail. unless they do that cheeky, like, everyone passes. This is unheard of. I want to know the grandpa's thoughts on things, because all the other shadows are just kind of sitting there being like, cheeky dicks about everything, where he's just kind of in the background like, oh, just you guys watch.
Grandfather is like super into it, and I like him a lot. Like,
I
for
feel
a character,
like that invisible like presence that Emilico feels, I feel like maybe he has the power to like project himself in places. Like he's actually watching.
Almost like he can like transmit himself through soot or something like that, so he can watch over people.
Because think about it, he's not like watching out the window or anything with the rest of them, or watching the board. So clearly he has a better seat than the rest of them.
Yeah, he's just sitting in the back, but he
seemed helpful too, because he led her to the oranges.
Yeah, I think he likes them. I think he likes the new people better than the old people. So
I want to guess that maybe he's secretly cool.
That'd be dope. I hope he's secretly cool.
He's like, hey, I like these kids. These kids are entertaining.
I like it. I'd be down with that.
Yeah, I hope that happens. But yeah, we're reaching the end, so we'll see what happens next week. I hope Rum and Shirley don't fail, but I feel like if someone has to, it's going to be them.
Yeah. I think Shirley even talks to Rum at one point while Rum is cutting her out of her chair.
Yeah, we don't hear it, but I guess they are talking to each other.
So I mean,
I can assume what Shirley sounds like, because they're going to share the same voice actor, so...
Yeah.
There's also Higehiro this week.
I guess we do have to talk about it, don't we?
Yeah, we talked about earlier, before we started this, Higehiro is like, you get a plate of wings, and you're like, hey, waiter, can you spice this up for me? And they're like, you got it, and they just put some salt and pepper on it.
It's like... I've never encountered a series that just backtracks so hard on every potential conflict. Like, literally all of them.
Yeah, like, the brother we thought was going to be the final antagonist, turns out he's cool. He's a cool brother. He's a good brother. I'd be like, I don't care about you emotionally, sister. You need to come back because the family matters or whatever. But no, he's like, he was the reason she originally left in the first place. He's like, hey, you need some time away from mom. Here's enough money for 2 weeks. Just stay in a hotel, relax, and then, come back when you cool down a bit. Just give me a call if you need anything. Like, what a good brother.
Yeah.
In fact, she took advantage of him. She just left and, like, stopped answering his messages and went AWOL on him. He probably felt terrible for being the one that sent her away in the first place.
He was so cool that it made me not like Sayu. Like, it made me hate Sayu more. Like, what the fuck? This dude gave you all that money and was like, listen, I know you're... Because her whole backstory is that she had a nerdy friend who was bullied because...
It's not an original one. It's that her friend committed suicide. But yeah, her mom's awful, where her mom's like, did you kill your friend? It's like, what the fuck, lady? Even everyone admits, like, yeah, that's kind of bad for a mom to say.
That's an extremely fucked up thing for someone to say to you. Because it is, holy shit. But then she leaves.
What an awful, like, hey, your friend dying has caused me a lot of problems. You're so selfish.
The reporters are bothering me.
Like, what a bitch.
Fuck that bitch.
Even the brother, when she says, like, mom asked if I killed my friend, and he's like, oh, damn, that's not okay. You should definitely take a break from seeing mom then.
And then she betrayed her brother's trust completely.
And he gave her to go live with strange men.
He gave her 2 weeks of money to just go and chill out wherever before she needed to come home.
And then we got a weird shot of, like, while she was in the hotel, it looks like she was, like, masturbating.
Yes.
I don't know why that was necessary to let us know.
I don't understand the context of that either.
I was just like sitting there like, I don't know why that was what they chose to focus on while she was like out by herself for 2 weeks.
Yes. It didn't add anything, I would say.
Yeah, she tells Yoshida and her Garu friend her backstory, and then the brother's like talks to her and says, "Hey, I can give you a week to kind of settle things and think everything over. I'll tell Mom I haven't found you yet, but that's probably the most I can do."
Thanks,
like,
cool bro.
And like even after all this, he's still like, "Yeah, I can give you another week." It's like this dude, this brother does a lot. Also, he had to come down here, run around looking for her from like Hokkaido, and this man clearly has a job and a career.
And
that's
she
a
was
lot of time he's taking off for all of this.
Yeah, just to make sure and it like it's just to make sure she's okay. Like she didn't even.
In fact, you could just go home. Yeah, your mom's a bitch, but you seem to have a good brother.
Yeah, just like he's supportive and is a good guy. You didn't need to do this.
This was all unnecessary.
It was wholly unnecessary. It's a show where nothing happens because everything is unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah, basically all the conflict was unnecessary.
Because we get the cliffhanger for conflict every time, and then it's just like, actually, they were a super cool person every time. Because think about it. It always ends with like some cliffhanger of maybe we're going to get conflict this time.
That's what I was saying earlier, where it's like, you know, you only get the wings with the salt and peppers when they promise the spiciest wings around, because the premise is like, oh, man living with high schooler? A romance series? Oh. You think like, oh, this is going to be a big thing. It's going to be spicy. And then you see the waiter walk into your table with like the Tabasco sauce, and you're like, oh boy, here it comes. Here comes the spice. Here comes the guy that she lived with before. Here comes her brother showing up. And then he walks to another table.
Yeah.
You're
That's
like,
exactly what it is.
I guess it's all fine.
I don't want to talk about this. Like we've hit it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's just disappointing.
It is.
This is a disappointing plate of wings. I want to get like a rodeo. Give me a rodeo burger.
You know what wasn't disappointing though, and was probably one of the best episodes this season?
Yeah, fucking Zombieland Saga, dude.
Zombieland Saga, like, oh, this episode does not fit with the show's tone or themes at all whatsoever, and it was like my favorite one. This is a zombie comedy series about a group of idols, and we get political intrigue and drama in the Meiji era.
And it's genuinely good.
And it's treated like there's really no comedy in this episode. It's treated as super serious.
Because it is. It gives it.
Like, and I'm pretty sure this is a real historical like event, like in certain terms of like Japanese history, probably very minor, but to like the local history, this is probably like a pretty big thing where it's like, yeah, like a rebellion almost started over this area.
And to be honest, that in and of itself fits with the themes of the show of like, here's this little minor thing in the Saga prefecture. No one else really gives a shit about it, but like we do.
And it was interesting to see because like I don't know, I'm still at the part where the grandpa or the old man that runs the bar is definitely the grandpa. Like that's confirmed. Like him and Yugiri know each other because they're from that period. I don't know if I don't think Tatsumi's the same guy. I think he's a new person that has the same ambition.
I think it's possible. But again, I also just really don't know.
Because his interactions with Yugiri never feel like he would be the same
they've
guy.
Known each other. Yeah.
I think more the old man, the grandpa, it's still been his goal to like revitalize Saga, and he found a youth that had the same sort of energy as that kid.
Like that would make sense.
He's like, hey, I'm going to tutor this guy.
He keeps finding people that have similar ambitions to him.
And I guess that makes sense why Yugiri is well preserved, because the old man probably brought her back.
Yeah, because the Yugiri base. So what happens is, it's kind of what you expect. Is like Kichi, the guy from the Meiji era, his group basically decides, we're gonna do a rebellion. All of this petition bullshit is not gonna work.
Which was an interestingly realistic angle they took it, especially for that time period, where he's like, hey, I want to get everyone sort of hyped up and want to revitalize our country and stuff and get back our prefecture. And instead of doing that, well, he does get people fired up, but instead they're like, hey, yeah, we all want this thing back. What if we use violence to get what we want, though?
Yeah, we're the samurai of Saga, and we're going to take it back with our own two hands.
Yeah, we're going to bring the samurai class back and go and take on the government. And he's like, guys, no, we could do this without violence and stuff. And like, nah, you're young. You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get what it was like.
And then they go to do that.
Yep,
and sure
it turns out his friend, I forget his friend's name, but his friend that was constantly trying to dissuade him from doing all this, turns out he worked for the government. And since he worked for the government, his whole goal was to kind of be on the lookout for any sort of rebellious activity. He didn't have to worry about Kichi because he wasn't really a threat. He was just some guy, handing out flyers and stuff. But now it's become a problem.
Kichi inadvertently sparked a rebellion. And he's got to deal with that. And he was like, I fucking told you. So this would happen.
Cut down the rebels, and he was about to attack Kichi when Yugiri shows up, and turns out she knows how to fight.
Turns out Yugiri's a fucking badass who has a sword hidden in her shamisen.
Yep, and turns out to she mentioned something about the guy who freed her was apparently some big wig samurai or something. It sounds like.
Yeah.
He's like, who even paid for your freedom? And she mentions the guy's name. He's like, well, shit. Guess I have to take this seriously.
She doesn't even mention his name. She mentions a crazy title.
Yeah.
He's like the demon of something. And she kills him. She kills his buddy.
Because they have, she secures an escape for Kichi because she's like, yeah, I know some really bigwig people, so just take this to them and they'll make sure you're okay. And she even left a note for the grandpa that he ends up reading. And yeah, she gets executed in his place for the whole rebellion.
Yeah.
She goes out like a queen.
She goes out like a fucking queen. She deserves it. It's not every day that you come across a ride or die woman that is willing to get herself executed in order to cover up your involvement with an accidental rebellion.
To get herself covered up, she fucking gets herself executed for treason after taking out a guy that took down 6 dudes by himself.
I love the scene when she takes him down too, because they do the samurai thing where they both draw their blades and then they're standing back to back, and then he falls and she looks genuinely concerned, shit, I just killed that guy. And I think that goes a long way to really kind of describing her character. Because she is a badass. Yeah, but she doesn't want to.
She kind of reminded me of that scene with the guy with the in Sekiro, that one optional enemy, the lady with the shamisen.
Yeah.
In that terms, that just something about that where I'm like, hey, the courtesan, the Samashin lady that actually is a deadly blade master.
Yeah, because you meet the guy she's after earlier.
But yeah, it was a really, really good episode. And then at the end, because I complained a week or two ago about there not being enough good original songs and stuff. Then we got this one.
This is a real fucking good one in this episode.
Yeah. This one was good.
Yeah, it's a good song. It's a Yugiri-led song, too. She's the main singer for it, which is very good.
And I like the aesthetic of everybody else is dressed in sort of Meiji era clothing.
Yeah. She should know. She was there.
Yeah.
She also still uses the comb that Kichi bought her back in the Meiji era.
And I do like that at the end, too, we see like she's at the bar drinking with the old necromancer dude. And we can see on his shelf he has the picture of them all together that they took.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm wondering what because it looks like the last couple of episodes are going to be Kotaro themed. Because it looks like the next episode you see in like the teaser or whatever, him being confronted by the detective dude.
Yeah, I am curious to see how that's going to shake out.
It is actually interesting how they kind of set that up as like they had the conflict in the past with Keiichi and that guy, and this guy has a similar hairstyle to him. The detective dude.
Yeah.
So it's like the new save Saga conflict.
We need to save Saga again, but this time we need to do it from the press, the free press.
Yeah, I again, it was a weird episode because it tonally does not fit with what the show's about. Because it felt, again, it was like a samurai drama, but it was really good.
Yeah, it's weird that the writer of this zombie idol comedy series wrote such a good Meiji era samurai drama.
I think there's several writers for this show because this isn't based off of a light novel or a manga. This is an anime original.
Oh, nice. Well, the writers are doing a good job. Give all of them a raise. Give every single one.
Made me want to watch a good samurai show again. Because I'm like, hey, I really vibe with this kind of stuff. I know some people are probably watching this episode. They're like, where's the dancing? Which you do get at the end, but like still, it was just like really good. It was really good how well it fit into something that it shouldn't fit into.
Yeah.
And it made Yugiri absolutely the best girl, hands down. Like, Saki's great, but like, no contest.
Saki's great, but Saki didn't get executed to cover up her man's involvement.
Yeah, Saki didn't have to fight a well-trained samurai in order to defend like her loved one.
Yeah. Sorry, Saki. You're a strong number 2, but Yugiri is now number 1 without a freaking pause.
It's amazing too, because we were saying before how like she was the least developed one, so we were looking forward of her getting an episode to herself, and it turns out it was like the best episode.
Hell yeah.
Like, absolutely destroyed the other ones. As much as I loved like the Saki episodes with her biker gang, or the dude with the flaccid pompadour, or the Lily episode, but like this one, next level. I love the fact that the least developed character just almost kind of out of the blue gets a 2-parter backstory couple of episodes that like describes very important backstory between some of the major characters, and it's just amazing. It's quality wise, the writing stands out head and shoulders above the rest of the episodes, and it's delectable. It's delectable. Yeah, it is. It is probably my favorite episode this season for sure. I gotta rethink, like, you know, what some of my favorite moments in season 1 were, if it's gonna top that. But I really like this.
Me too.
I wonder if we're getting an actual ending with this.
Like, I don't know.
Is it just going to be a 2-season show? Because I'm fine with that. I don't need it to go on forever as long as the conclusion's satisfying.
Me too. I feel
like hey, we're going to do Zombieland Saga Season 3, even though we covered most of the story beats.
Yeah, I feel like if they can get it to a satisfying conclusion, I would be pretty satisfied with that.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Lastly, Iruma. I was satisfied with the way everything worked out. It worked out in a very way that it should have worked out.
Yes, because he wakes up this episode. Well, we get the resolution, actually, which is very good.
They get all of the teachers' signatures like they were order to do, but then Caligo was like, I ordered you to get signatures or the stamp from every single staff member. That doesn't just mean teachers. I mean everybody that works here. And they're like, what? That's impossible. It's like, you just misinterpreted what I told you. You didn't have the ability to critically think about what I wanted.
And you need to be able to think critically if you want to be the Demon Lord. If you want the Demon Lord's classroom.
But then, because Iruma's such a good guy, all of the faculty show up because he's helped all of them in the past because he's just that type of person.
I like how it's the one, like, gardener at first, and he's like, I heard you were collecting these, so I figured I would bring you mine. And
but then literally everybody shows up. The cafeteria people, the shopkeeper.
That one guy who wears a headband and a tank top.
And I love how them getting Royal One, like, because at the end he's forced to, like, acknowledge them, and he has to use both of his hands to actually place the seal down because he's, like, really doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, just... it was physically painful for him to do that.
And then them getting to go to Royal One is like it's a big school-wide event. There's like a ceremony for it. People set up stalls.
There's the guys who set up the big, like, quote-unquote unfinishable bowls of ramen.
And then Iruma steps by and just, like, downs it in one gulp.
That was delicious,
like, he's just so cool.
He's very cool. Evil Iruma is very cool.
And I like when they get their school, like, he's given a big speech. He's like, you now will set foot into a classroom that was only made to serve. Hey, wait a minute. And they all just run in and they're like, ooh, look at this. Everything's so shiny. I wonder how much I can sell this for.
This lamp is super expensive.
And then they go into the actual Demon Lord's classroom, and there's a big throne in the back. And then Iruma goes and sits on it, and there's a pretty interesting scene where Asmodeus narrates it, where he's like, no one could speak in that moment, because in that moment he looked just like, and it's that opening shot we got from season 1 of the show.
Yeah.
Because, of course, Iruma is going to eventually be the Demon Lord.
And we actually learn his name, but I forgot it.
Yeah. But yeah, everyone was looking at him just like, oh. And Asmodeus is probably going to simp even harder than ever.
Hell yeah, dude. Asmodeus is the true simp.
And then the next day, Iruma wakes up and he's back to being a good kid. And then I like how the scene where they take a photo together he takes a photo with his grandpa in opera, and they look and they're just like, the other photo was pretty good too. So they decide at the end they like both Irumas.
Yeah.
And we found out why Ali, the ring, didn't come out during the whole time, because he was afraid of evil Iruma. So that's why he just skipped the whole arc. And then the rest of them, when he goes back to school, he apologizes to everybody.
To literally everybody. And literally everybody is also like, nah, dude, it's cool. You were like the sickest badass ever.
Yeah, and everyone he's now closer with all of his classmates.
Yeah, it's very nice. We get a lot of good development in the Evil Iruma arc.
And they're even like, oh, sit in the chair again and smile smugly like you did.
Do the smug smile again. And he can't because he's good Iruma now, so he's just, like, kind of awkward.
I like how they force Caligo into the picture with them, too.
Yeah.
I like Caligo.
He's a good character. He's like...
I like him because he's the one serious dude in this entire school.
Yes. It's very good. You always need at least one straight man. And this show has exactly one straight man.
I like how he's like, yeah, I finalized everything with the chair demon, and it cuts to him. He's just like, well, they want to, so just let him do it.
They did it. I mean, why not? I like how the teachers have a teacher uniform, but there's like 3 of them who just wear whatever they want instead, because fuck the teacher uniform. Yeah,
like the gambler-looking teacher, the Robin sensei, and then there's another one I can't remember.
The succubus. She wears like a pink mini skirt.
Oh, and then the grandma. like
Oh yeah,
the botanist teacher.
this is 4. I can't get over the fact that one of their teachers is basically just Darby the gambler.
I'd say, as far as this show goes, I feel like everyone's well developed comparatively to like another school-wide show like My Hero Academia. I feel like everyone's really well developed. It's just the character designs aren't as good as My Hero.
Yeah.
Like, people have interesting character arc. We like learn about them. It's just everyone looks worse. Or not everybody, but some characters look worse. Like, I feel like we'll get solid development for all the students in the class and stuff. It's just like, look at Lion Guy, or like Napping Dude, or the Katana Bird Head guy.
I feel like those guys we aren't going to get any development for. Just, I don't know, something about them just makes me feel like
I don't know.
they're
I've
not
seen
gonna
like
focus
manga
on these
panels
guys.
where like the Napping Dude is not wearing his like eye band. So like I guess he's handsome.
He's Napping Dude is handsome?
Yeah, if he takes off his eye band, he's got like pretty eyes or something. So
Oh,
yeah, I guess I think they get more development as time goes on.
that's kind of interesting actually. I didn't expect it. That's what I'll say.
They just got worse character designs than My Hero.
Pretty handily, because My Hero has some very good character design.
Yeah. I mean, there's still people like in the same vein as like that. It's just like, for example, in My Hero, there's the dude that talks to animals or whatever with like the weird rock head.
Yeah, I don't understand him.
That dude doesn't matter that much, and his design is stupid. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I guess you could equate him to the lion guy.
Yeah.
I think the cast is smaller too. Well, the class is smaller. My Hero is a bigger class, so there's more room for like people that actually have good designs.
That's true. And there's also a lot more room for people who like just flat out basically don't matter. Like fucking dude who talks to animals.
Or Invisible Girl.
Or Invisible Girl is like a running gag almost. She's not like an actual character.
You forget she's there because she's invisible.
Because she's invisible.
Most of those series, though, they bloat the cast because you need a whole classroom of people, but then you have the ones you actually care about and want to do stuff with.
Yeah. Bakugo, love interest, class leader, the main character.
Todoroki.
The distant bad boy.
Yeah, he's the hot and cold one.
Yeah. You're hot and you're cold.
Both shows have Grape Guy. Grape Guy and Owl Guy are the same character.
Yes. They have different powers, but they are the same character.
They are the I only care about one thing, and it is boobies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wonder where the plot's going to go now that they have Royal One.
Me too. I don't know.
Because that was the objective for at least a bit.
We're going to need a new objective. And I guess we'll just kind of have to wait and see what that is. I'm down, though. I still like this show a lot.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to what happens next. And that's the bottom of the list. That's it.
That's it.
We got through everything.
If you listening along at home /work/car/ wherever the fuck also want to keep
at work,
up with what's
at
gonna
home, France. What is France work? Is France home? France is all and none of those things. It's a magical land. But yeah, subscribe. We're on YouTube. Do all of that. Subscribe to keep up with us because you'll definitely want to be here when we start ripping into Higurashi Sotsu next season.
Oh,
I am ready to destroy that show.
We're gonna hate watch the fuck out of that.
I am ready for him to ruin one series I really liked in high school.
He's gonna ruin your childhood.
He's gonna ruin my teenage years.
But yeah, follow us on the socials media. We're on there too.
Twitter, Facebook at Protagonist Seat, and we're on all the pod platforms.
Yeah, I feel like we don't even have to list them out anymore. Like
Yeah,
we're just on them.
you know what it is. Also, if you're listening on a pod platform, you already found it.
Yeah, if you're listening, you found it. It did its job.
This is only for people that are on YouTube being like, man, I wish I could listen to this on the go.
Yeah, and you can. We've been saying this for a long time. You can.
Just pick the one you like, the one you use most.
Basically, everyone uses Spotify at this point. If you're like using iTunes for your music, we're up there, dude. If I don't know anyone who uses Google Play Music.
If you're using iTunes, I feel like something's weird about that at this point. I feel like because they're trying to phase out iTunes.
Yeah, it kind of needs to go. Like iTunes is over.
It's because Apple is getting rid of the I in everything and trying to make everything Apple.
I don't
like Apple Music.
I don't like that.
The I was fine.
Yeah. Like, who cares, dude? Who gives a shit? Apple, what are you doing? Like, we get you're a self-centered, greedy corporation, but like, whatever.
Whatever.
Our OP is done by Popskyy. He's a cool guy. His stuff's in the description.
Whatever.
Well, not whatever, because he has a lot of cool sales for his music. So, like, do that. And all that money goes to him. None of it goes to fucking Apple. Fuck Apple. Dude.
Yeah, give him money instead of Apple. Give the man money, not the corporation.
Right? But that's all we got for you this week. Thanks for sticking around. We hope to see you again next week. So we got for you, class dismissed.
Whatever.